Behind the imposing gilded gates and historic stone facades of Britain's royal residences, power is rarely asserted through sudden public declarations or overt political battles. In the long, continuous history of the House of Windsor, institutional authority is defined through the subtle, unyielding mechanics of administrative control, the management of private estate trusts, the enforcement of security clearances, the vetting of corporate hospitality, and the absolute oversight of sovereign assets. When rumors surge across global media regarding an intense operational dispute within the palace concerning Queen Camilla's private vacation arrangements aboard a luxury superyacht, the public sees on the sensational framing of an internal family exile. Yet, beneath the dramatic headlines lay a far more consequential constitutional reality. The real narrative was not a dramatic personal feud, but a monumental, structural redefinition of royal governance. Led by Prince William in his dual role as heir to the throne and Duke of Cornwall, this operational overhaul marked a moment where future sovereign leadership actively stepped forward to enforce corporate discipline, strict financial accountability, and unyielding brand protection across the modern court. To understand how an administrative disagreement over private travel arrangements could trigger a systemic realignment of court authority, one must first dismantle the popular misconception that the royal family functions as a simple, unified family unit. In operational reality, the monarchy operates as a complex, multi-layered constitutional enterprise governed by distinct household budgets, separate legal trusts, and rigorous statutory protocols. At the top of this structure sits the sovereign grant, the annual public funding mechanism calculated as a percentage of the Crown Estate's net profits. The sovereign grant finances the official duties of the monarch and working royals, covers the maintenance of occupied royal palaces, and funds the extensive administrative staff required to run the monarchy's official business. However, operating alongside this public mechanism are the two ancient private land portfolios that form the financial backbone of the senior royal hierarchy, the Duchy of Lancaster and the Duchy of Cornwall. The Duchy of Lancaster provides a reigning monarch, currently King Charles III, with an independent private income, known as a privy purse. The Duchy of Cornwall, conversely, is vested entirely in the monarch's eldest living son upon succession. When Prince William became the Duke of Cornwall, he inherited executive authority over a commercial estate valued at over £1 billion, spanning more than 130,000 acres across 23 counties in England and Wales. This financial independence grants the Prince of Wales unprecedented structural autonomy within the royal household. Unlike previous generations of heirs who remained dependent on the monarch's personal allowance, William commands an independent corporate apparatus, a dedicated legal team, and a modern executive household based at Kensington Palace. Consequently, when issues arise that threaten the long-term reputation or public standing of the broader royal brand, the Prince of Wales possesses both the constitutional mandate and the financial leverage to demand systemic reform. The catalyst of the recent palace overhaul can be traced directly to public scrutiny surrounding high-value private hospitality accepted by senior members of the royal household. Media reports confirm that Queen Camilla spent a private Mediterranean vacation off the coast of Greece aboard the Zenobia, a £30 million luxury superyacht owned by Syrian-Saudi billionaire businessman Wafik Said. Wafik Said, a long-standing figure in international business circles, was a major political donor to the UK Conservative Party and famously brokered the historic Al-Yamama arms agreement between the United Kingdom and Saudi Arabia during the 1980s. While representatives of the Parker Bowles family emphasized that the getaway was a private family holiday arranged through a long-standing personal friendship between Mr. Said and Camilla's former husband, Brigadier Andrew Parker Bowles, the public and political optics created an immediate institutional challenge for the Crown. Under unwritten constitutional convention, the British monarchy must maintain total political impartiality. Accepting multi-million-pound corporate or personal hospitality from prominent political donors, regardless of personal friendships, creates an immediate perception of conflict of interest, directly undermining the Crown's role as an apolitical unifying institution. The controversy emerged at a deeply sensitive moment for both the country and the monarchy. Across the United Kingdom, ordinary citizens were navigating prolonged cost-of-living pressures and high inflation. Simultaneously, King Charles III had repeatedly signaled a commitment to a slimmed-down monarchy that aimed to trim public opulence, reduce excess, and align royal operations with modern public expectations. Former government ministers, Constitutional legal experts and media commentators quickly pointed out the stark contradiction between the Crown's official narrative of fiscal restraint and the acceptance of billionaire corporate perks. Public interest group representatives publicly queried whether senior royals should accept lavish corporate hospitality that ordinary citizens could never access, particularly when representing the nation on global platforms. For Kensington Palace strategic advisors, the incident exposed a critical vulnerability in the household's operational oversight. While official royal engagements undergo multi-stage vetting by the Lord Chamberlain's office, private holidays, guest list clearances, and corporate hospitality arrangements had long functioned within an informal, self-policed gray zone. William recognized that in the digital age, where every private getaway is recorded and globalized within minutes, an unvetted private vacation could inflict severe, lasting damage on the institutional credibility of the Crown. To understand Prince William's swift administrative intervention, one must examine his broader philosophy regarding the modernization of the House of Windsor. Unlike traditional court perspectives that viewed royal privilege as an unassailable ancestral right, Prince William operates under what royal biographers describe as a corporate management mindset. Having watched the monarchy navigate decades of public relations crises, from the explosive breakdown of his parents' marriage in the 1990s to recent legal and reputational sagas involving non-working royals, William firmly believes that public legitimacy is not guaranteed by hereditary right. Instead, it must be earned continually through absolute transparency, disciplined service, and spotless ethical conduct. When reports regarding the Mediterranean superyacht trip reached Kensington Palace, the Prince of Wales took immediate steps to evaluate the internal oversight protocols that had permitted the arrangement. Sources close to royal household governance suggest William viewed the incident not merely as a temporary PR misstep, but as a systemic failure of administrative discipline. In a series of high-level meetings convened with senior estate managers, private secretaries, and sovereign security officials across Kensington Palace, Buckingham Palace, and the Duchy of Cornwall, the Prince of Wales laid down an uncompromising ultimatum. The era of informal, unvetted private privileges was officially over. The narrative that Prince William literally kicked Queen Camilla out of the royal household represents an exaggerated tabloid simplification of what was, in reality, a sophisticated, sweeping administrative audit. Rather than initiating a public or personal confrontation, William deployed his statutory authority over royal properties, duchy funds, and household scheduling to enforce complete institutional reset. First, under updated operational rules advocated by the Prince of Wales, all non-official travel, private vessel charters, and corporate hospitality invitations extended to any member of the royal family must now submit to mandatory preliminary review by the Lord Chamberlain's office. Any private hospitality valued above standard commercial thresholds must be evaluated for potential political or commercial conflicts of interest. Acceptance of hospitality, residences, or transport from individuals with active political donor histories or international commercial contracts tied to government business is strictly prohibited. Furthermore, all travel logistics involving external hosts must be logged within an audited central database accessible to executive private secretaries. Second, a central element of the administrative restructuring involved tightening security and residency access across private royal estates. Historically, extended non-working family members, including stepchildren, extended relatives, and long-term personal entourages, enjoyed informal access to private quarters, guest cottages, and leisure facilities at estates such as Sandringham in Norfolk and Balmoral in Aberdeenshire. Prince William instructed estate administrators to enforce a strict working royal and bloodline lineage protocol for unescorted access to secured private grounds. This directive effectively ended the long-standing practice of non-working step-relatives using sovereign properties as informal private retreats without prior clearance from the Central Estate Office. To fully appreciate the scale of this modernization effort, it is helpful to contrast the traditional 19th and 20th century models of royal court management with the modern corporate governance model pioneered by Prince William. Historically, executive authority rested on absolute monarchic discretion. Financial transparency was minimal through private, UN-audited civil lists, and hospitality rules relied on aristocratic patron favors. Estate management was handled through hereditary grace and favor usages, and public messaging was defined by total institutional silence. In contrast, Prince William's modern model introduces centralized corporate oversight, rigorous commercial auditing and disclosure, strict conflict of interest vetting, performance-based asset management, and proactive brand protection and transparency. This shift represents the single most significant reorganization of internal court protocol since Prince Albert overhauled the royal household in 1844 to eliminate administrative overlap, abolish wasteful sinecures, and restore public trust in the monarchy. A frequent question raised by constitutional commentators is why King Charles III did not simply overrule his son's administrative directives. The answer lies in the subtle legal realities governing sovereign health, monarchical succession, and the distribution of estate wealth within the modern crown. As King Charles III continues his reign while managing scheduled medical treatments, the practical daily responsibilities of statecraft, high-level diplomatic duties, and long-term institutional planning have inevitably devolved onto Prince William. King Charles, well aware that the long-term survival of the monarchy depends entirely on William's public standing and strategic vision, has consistently avoided overruling his son on core matters of household modernization. Furthermore, because Prince William holds sole legal control over the Duchy of Cornwall, any royal properties, staff salaries, or operational initiatives funded directly through duchy revenues fall entirely under his statutory jurisdiction. By leveraging this financial authority, William was able to execute a complete tightening of household rules without requiring formal parliamentary legislation or public monarchical declarations. The rapid spread of sensationalized narratives surrounding the palace audit highlights the unique media environment in which the modern royal family operates. In the era of instant digital commentary, YouTube documentary channels, and social media discussion boards, complex legal and corporate restructuring inside Buckingham Palace is frequently translated into dramatic stories of personal conflict, court exiles, and secret royal decrees. Yet, beneath the dramatic headlines, serious royal correspondents and constitutional historians recognize that the public's reaction to the superyacht incident was entirely real. In a constitutional democracy, the public expects its head of state and royal representatives to embody the highest standards of propriety. By stepping in decisively to eliminate unvetted corporate perks, William effectively neutralized a growing public relations vulnerability before it could inflict lasting damage on the crown's standing. The systemic reforms initiated by Prince William following the luxury yacht controversy mark a permanent turning point in the governance of the British monarchy. By re-establishing firm administrative boundaries, enforcing centralized travel clearance protocols, and restricting state access to vetted working royals, the Prince of Wales has sent an unmistakable signal throughout the royal household. When Prince William eventually ascends the throne as sovereign, he will inherit an institution that he has already reshaped in his own operational image. The era of informal aristocratic favors, unvetted corporate hospitality, and ambiguous estate privileges is officially drawn to a close. Replacing it is a lean, highly audited, and deeply disciplined enterprise, one designed to ensure that the House of Windsor maintains its constitutional relevance, public dignity, and moral authority for generations to come.